Hello Manchester United fans, welcome back to the Manchester Evening News. I am Sam Hutchison and this is my preview for Man United's trip away to Spurs. This game, Spurs are in real bad form. I mean, they got absolutely pasted away at Newcastle last week, and Man United have to go into this game with their heads held high that this is going to go really well. It's a real chance for Man United to consolidate that top four position, and Newcastle, Man United, and it looked like Villa have jumped over Spurs in recent weeks. Spurs have been in shocking form. They've just sacked their interim manager, which is the first time I remember it happening in Premier League history. When an interim manager's been sacked, but let me know in the comments if you can think of any more, if I've missed any. But this is a real chance for Man United to capitalise on that and really make the most of this game. Ten Hag had a couple of injury updates in his press conference earlier on, so here are those.
There are some unavailable. I have Martinez, Varane. We have to see how Bruno Fernandes is. You don't know yet, it's a question mark. But I think for the rest, we are quite okay.
So, as Ten Hag said, Rafa Varane and Lisandro Martinez are both definitely missing this game, and Bruno Fernandes is a massive doubt. He didn't mention Anthony Martial, so Anthony Martial will probably be fit again to start. However, Bruno Fernandes is going to be a massive miss if he can't start. I think he really holds that midfield together, and he makes Manchester United's midfield play a lot better when he is there than Sabitzer in the same role. So I don't know about if Erik Ten Hag's got something up his sleeve. He usually does have something up his sleeve in a way of combating an injury or a suspension. But with Bruno Fernandes, it's going to be difficult to replace him. I got in contact with my colleague and Spurs fan, Ned, earlier from the Mirror, and he's given us a little lowdown on what to expect from a Spurs side.
Tottenham are heading into the game in a bit of chaos. I don't think I can ever recall an interim manager being sacked in Premier League history, but here are the strange and uncertain times that Tottenham are in. Obviously, something did have to change after the defeat to Newcastle. To capitulate in the manner that the team did was unacceptable, and Christian Stellini ultimately paid the price for that and was removed from post earlier in the week. Is Ryan Mason the right man? For now, at least, he probably is. I'm not saying that the players didn't respect Antonio Conte or Christian Stellini, but Mason has that added benefit of having played alongside a lot of the squad and obviously coached, in the interim role a couple of years ago when a lot of the squad were still there. That being said, I do think Tottenham do need a permanent appointment quickly, but the game against Manchester United, that's going to come too quickly for that to happen. The players have said they'll refund the fans who made the trip up to Newcastle at the weekend. The right move, but I think we're still looking for a little bit more as fans. We need something further for an apology and of course a good performance against Man United. I think after the weekend no one's expecting us to win this game, but by way of apology the players can show that they still care about the club by delivering a good performance against Manchester United, which hopefully might lead to a surprisingly decent result. For Harry Kane, of course, the match might be an audition. He's been linked with Manchester United. The club is said to be monitoring his movements ahead of the summer. So it's a good chance for him to show Erik Ten Hag up close and personal what exactly he can do and what exactly he could offer. For other members of the squad, it's an audition for them too. Whoever Tottenham's new manager is, you suspect that they'll likely be watching this, or at least the candidates that are linked will likely be watching this game and keeping close tabs to see who performs well in a match against one of Tottenham's, I use this phrase lightly, traditional Big Six rivals. Of course, Newcastle might break into it, but there's definitely a lot riding on it for Tottenham, and it can't be any worse, he says, somewhat scared now, than what happened for us on Sunday.
Thank you, Ned. This is a real opportunity for Manchester United to really capitalise on Spurs being in bad form. Like Ned said, no Spurs fans are going into this expecting Spurs to come out with a result. For Man United, this is huge. This could really be that solidification that Man United are better this season than Spurs are. For Spurs, I think their big danger man is Harry Kane. I think you've really got to look out for him. He's the best player in their squad by a mile. And the rest of their squad's not really having a great season. Obviously, you've still got to watch out for him, but Harry Kane really is Spurs' biggest danger and biggest threat. He's central to everything that Spurs do that is fantastic on a football pitch, and Man United really have to cope with that, and that will be the measure of this game. As for Man United, I'm hoping Anthony will be back into top form. He has been really good in recent weeks, and I do think he'll be back again out on that pitch in top form. Rashford off the left, and I think it'll be Martial up front. So Rashford, Martial and Antony is probably Man United's first choice front three. So I think if we're going to see Manchester United put someone to the sword this season, which we haven't really seen, that's what this season's lacked, in my opinion, from Erik ten Hag. I think this could be an opportunity, a real good chance for Man United to put someone to the sword and go out and score a couple at least of goals, 3 or 4 goals. As for a predicted 11, it'll be David De Gea in net. I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka has done enough to keep his spot at right back. At centre half, I think it'll be Lindelof and Shaw again. I don't think Harry Maguire will come back in. I think Luke Shaw will start at left centre half. I think Dalot will start at left back. We've seen him play there and he's been quite good recently. Casemiro, and I'd start Fred in midfield to sort of deal with Bruno Fernandes's absence if it is going to be absent. I think he can provide the energy that might be needed to deal with Spurs' midfield and Spurs' real threats like Harry Kane. I think I'd start Fred in midfield. I'd start Sabitzer just ahead of them in the Bruno Fernandes role. I think he's been playing really good as a second striker recently, and that's sort of where his best football's coming in a Manchester United shirt. So I hope we see him in that role again. And then off the right, Antony. Off the left, Marcus Rashford. And then up front, Anthony Martial. As for a score prediction, I can see it being 2-0 or 3-0. So Manchester United fans, that has been my preview for Man United versus Spurs. Make sure to let us know in the comments what you think might happen. Check out the Manchester Evening News for all the best coverage of this game and the games in the future for the rest of the season. Check out the Manchester is Red podcast and our extra podcast that we have added to the Manchester is Red podcast now, in which we react to Erik ten Hag's press conference. One of them went out earlier today. Check out the Manchester Evening News for all the best Man United coverage, and see you next time.